When we were directed after 2000 to conduct elections in Spanish, we were prepared for that. We knew that was coming just by what we saw out in the county. This caught us completely by surprise.
A retired Air Force colonel and registrar of voters, Larry Lomax is nearly unflappable, especially after conducting dozens of pinpoint-accurate elections in Clark County for the past 2 decades. That's why Lomax was flummoxed earlier this year when his office was notified that elections in Clark County must now be conducted in not just 2 languages, English and Spanish, but now a third, in Filipino.
What the law states is that after they conduct the census, it's up to the director of the Census Bureau to make the determination of what jurisdictions will conduct our elections in more than 1 language. And the criteria is if 5% or more of the population responds that they have difficulty understanding and reading English and they have a specific other language, in this case Filipino or Spanish, then he will direct that jurisdiction to conduct the election in that language as well as English. The other criterion is if 10,000 or more people fall into that same category within a jurisdiction. And a jurisdiction, in this case, is a county.
The election department's immediate issue was a linguistic one. Because the Filipino language consists of more than 100 dialects, Lomax and his staff immediately partnered with the local Filipino community to determine which one would be printed on the entire collection of election materials.
In this case, it's Tagalog. That was the dialect that was determined. And we need somebody who could speak it and translate it and answer the phone in it.
Miyembro, Board ng Edukasyon ng Estado, Distrito 3, 4 na taong termino, isa lang ang iboto. Ed Klaproth, Allison Serafin.
Bilingual and fluent in other Filipino dialects, May Manahan is the election department's point person in translating English to Tagalog. Here she is recording audio ballots for sight-impaired voters. Every election department form, brochure, voting machine, and even their website needed to be translated. And while proper names such as Shelley and Heller look typically English in Tagalog, much of the rest of the language is tougher to translate.
The biggest challenge actually is adapting the formal language, because the pure Tagalog is hardly understandable by the common Filipinos. So to maintain its formality, since it is a formal document or formal communication, for some Filipinos it's more hard for them to understand the more educated terms, so to speak.
The mission of the Clark County Election Department is to allow everyone who is eligible to vote to register as early as possible. And for years, the Election Department has conducted elections with registered voting citizens serving as poll workers. This year, Lomax and the rest of the team will require extra assistance, especially those who can speak English and Tagalog.
When you look at ballot questions, all the instructions and pamphlets, everything we do has to be now done in this language. So in one sense, we know it's required. We've been through it before in Spanish, and we can do it. But it's a significant increase in what we have to do. It's not only the written word, but for instance, at the polling places, you have to have people at the polling places who can speak both of these languages now.
For more information on how to become a poll worker for the upcoming general election and earn $120, visit the Election Department page at www.clarkcountynv.gov and click on the poll worker application form.